Well, hi guys, it's Don with Pa's Garden Journal. Appreciate you joining me today. In today's video, we're going to take a look at some of the chores we've got going on, cleaning up the garden, getting ready for the fall, looking ahead at the new seasons, and we're just having a good old time working hard. And I'm loving the fall feel to the air here in Georgia right now, and it's great. I've seen it almost 95 degrees at this time of year, so it's great having this refreshing breeze and having it being down in the 70s. So that's wonderful. Fall is in the air, that's for sure. So hang in there with me. We'll be right back with you. Yeah, we're right in the middle of trying to close everything down from the summer garden, and part of the cleanup around here for fall, part of that is turning my compost bins, which is what I'm out here doing today. I try to turn them over completely once a month, and that makes some pretty good soil come time to plant next spring. Let me show you what I got. Let me turn the camera around here. Now, as you can see, I use a 3-bay system for my compost. And the one that's on the right hand side here, this is the first bay, and that's what I've been mixing back and forth this year. Those are the leaves that were here that I put in here last fall, but just to give you a hard look at it, you see that's not too shabby at all, and that'll make some good compost to go in the garden. And I've got another month or two to stir that up. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to take this half a bin right here, or this bay, and it'll roll over into this middle bay. And what I do during the year is, like I said, I rotate it every month, but it's back and forth between these two bays. This third bay over here is empty right now because it was all put on the garden back at planting season. So for now, in fact, after I emptied this one and started rotating things, I had these two full of leaves, so every time I rotate them, it would be the middle one over to this one, and then the end one over to the middle one, and I was rotating two at a time. Well, since that time, since last spring, the leaves had decomposed and working their magic, and now it's gotten down to only being, instead of 2 bins full of leaves, I've got this half a bin full of composted leaves, and along with that the scraps, the droppings and the manure and the wood chips out of the hen house, all my eggshells, all my coffee grounds, all my vegetable scraps from the kitchen. So right now today I'm turning this over here to this one over here, and like I said, later on I'll rotate them back over to this one. I think I'll rotate them again in November, and I will be moving them all down to this end one, and then they'll sit there. I won't rotate them anymore, because as soon as I get to November, I'll need these empty so I can put leaves in them. So yeah, that's the routine I go through every year, and it pays off well, I believe. Some good compost. Well, as part of our October update, here's some things, one of the other things I had to do this week. I've been working in the chicken house, and what I did here is have to take out all the wood chips and they're all going back in there now to see what I did. It's funny how they get past the word, I guess. Oh, look, something's changed. Of course they won't any of them go up there now. One of them's trying to peek her head in. I've got the new wood chips down, and she's coming over to say hey, I guess. But they're all coming up now to look around since they hear me up this way. But anyway, got that done. So we'll be Working with the hens this year. They've busy been laying, getting a steady 6 eggs a day. So keeping us into food. So that's part of my October update. Fresh wood chips in the hen house. And what did you do with the old ones, you say? Let me just swing it around right here as I look. Close that door, and right behind us is my compost piles. So here's the old wood chips, and I just threw them right in here. And if you could notice the earlier segment I just did, I had this bin was full of or half full of that compost I was showing you. I've since moved that to this middle bin, and now started filling this one up. And as I gather leaves here beginning in October, I'll fill this up, and by then all of this will be moved on over to this empty bin, and it'll stay there from the end of October, first part of November, until next spring when it's planting season. So that's my routine, handling my compost, and it'll be some good stuff when we get through with it all. But it just takes time, and just do a little bit here and there and a little bit there. But in the meantime, we'll keep looking at the chickens and seeing what they got going on, and a lot of other things still happening around here as well. So even though it's off season, I stay busy. As a continuing moving episode, if you will, just playing off of my last one, wrapping things up around here. This one is, I'm going back to my sweet potatoes because I was just, curiosity was killing me, and I couldn't stand the fact that we just got the one little fingerling out of this 8-foot bed. So I came on over here and dug up the entire bed, and that fingerling was the biggest thing I had, and I only had that one. Everything else was pencil thin, long, stringy roots, and it was way drier than I expected it to be. So maybe that's the problem. And I also checked my records, and there's been 104 days since this was planted. So I'm going to leave them alone. I've got 3 more boxes down through here. You'll see those. I'm going to let those sit here for most of the month of October, 2 or 3 more weeks anyway, and that'll give me about 120 days. And we'll take another look and see how this second bed is looking, or this box here is looking, and hopefully between now and then I'll get plenty of water on it, and the rain will help us out a little bit too. The other thing that's updating here today is getting this thing cleaned up. Still got tidying up to do around the edges, and here in the next week or so we'll be starting to pull up the tarps where the planting holes are in, because the ones that are on my walkways, I leave those down all winter. I just cover them over with a big tarp, which is what my next process was going to be. So more on that in a little bit. Well, the other thing I've worked on this month so far is I'm doing the first picking today on my lima beans that I planted for after the other crop got finished. I planted these to see if I could do a late crop of them, and I'm doing pretty well with them. I'm out here picking now in the hot afternoon sun. As you can, there's my shadow. The shadow knows. But yeah, they didn't come up as well as I had hoped. They just didn't germinate for some reason. And then again, just like with sweet potatoes, probably wasn't getting enough rain. In fact, I don't think we had any rain in September here at my house anyway. But anyway, more on this as we keep going. Some more chores that we're doing here in October. One of the things that we hadn't talked about too much this year actually are my muscadines. I've only got one big long trellis about 40 feet long. This front 20 foot is the bronze scuppernong's, and the back 20 foot is the black muscadines. And they're finished for the year, So as with everything else, in October, I like to get out here and shake the vines. And I do that to get rid of any of the loose uh, grapes that may be still hanging on, because you don't want them to rot on the vine. And they will just cause disease and fungus, and it'll maybe affect your crop next year. So just want to come out here and give them a good shake and see what we can do. And that cleaned them off pretty well. What I'll do now is just take a few minutes to go along here and check it really close and pick off any that may still be left on there. But that's what I do with the muscadines, is just another part of getting things took care of in October. Well, guys, that's about it for the October update, as we kind of take a look at things and see where we are. Yeah, the fall is just arriving here in Georgia, and you can see some of the leaves are turning already that was on this muscadines. But we've taken a look at the harvesting I've got going on with the sweet potatoes, or lack of. We're waiting on those things to grow. Still got lima beans to pick, which I picked some yesterday. And other than that, it's just a matter of cleaning up. We looked at turning the compost pile. We looked at cleaning out the hen house and changing out the wood chips there. We've looked at shaking baking with the muscadine vines. So we're in pretty good shape for October, just the beginning of the month. Now I look around the yard, it's like, what are we gonna do all year long until next spring planting? Well, just stick with me. I've got a couple things going on. We've got, not even counting the garden, right now I've got a full 6 flower beds around the yard. I'm about to build another one, which if you saw my earlier videos about the spirea beds, that's the new bed I'm talking about. I'm going to plant some flower seeds and finish that bed off around those spirea bushes. So got a couple ideas, and who knows what else may get thrown in along the way. So for now, I appreciate you watching. I'm going to go have a glass of sweet tea on my porch swing. And this breeze I've got going today and these cool temperatures, woo, making my bones ache for the fall to come on in here. I know it will, hard and with a vengeance, most likely. I have seen it snow before Halloween in Georgia, although it wasn't much, but I have seen it happen. So who knows what kind of ride we're going to have, but we're going to work while we can, and when we can't, we're going to rest. So for right now, I'm going to go rest. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.